Hi, Democrats. Today is Tuesday, October 24th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Tuesday. Okay, so I have a lot to talk about, and most of it national today. If you guys have been watching the news, or if you're somewhere where you can't watch the news, I'm going to update you on some crazy stuff. So this morning, we woke up to Jenna Ellis, the attorney Jenna Ellis, who is one of the 19 co-conspirators in the RICO charges in Georgia. This morning, Jenna Ellis pled guilty. She took a guilty plea this morning. So she is the fourth person of the 19 co-conspirators to say, uncle, right? So she made a statement. And so now we have the 4 of the 19. And so now it's down to 15. Well, no, it's not. Now it's down to 14 because just within the hour, Mark Meadows was granted immunity, providing that he cooperates. And he's already said on tape that he told the former president that the election was sound, that that he did not win, and that there weren't the irregularities that the former president was claiming that there were. So that tells us more and more and more about fraud, because it was fraud what they were doing. And so now it's down to 14. So it's the former president and 14 co-conspirators, with 5 people who have been granted some level of immunity or reduced charges to cooperate. No, Dorothy, it is not too early to dance in the rain, because the folks who have taken a plea or come in and had the conversation are some of the I don't want to say brains, but some of the architects of the conspiracy, right? We got the person who wrote the plan. We have the people who called folks and explained the plan. The person who created the fake documents for the fake electors. We have the folks who were going on TV successfully convincing people that the election was rigged. Those are the people who have taken pleas and said that they would cooperate. Meanwhile, the former president was in New Hampshire over the weekend, telling people in New Hampshire, we have this next election kind of locked up. You don't need to vote. I don't even know what is happening in his brain. Maybe that's what happens when you're in a panic because you're trying to figure out what it's going to mean that you're the first president to go to jail. I'm not real sure, but I am sure that that's what he's thinking, that he's the first president who's going to get some sort of criminal prosecution. And they're going to have to make up the rules as we go along about what to do when a former president is found guilty of crimes. That's a thing. So Jenna Ellis this morning, Mark Meadows within the last hour or so, and Sidney Powell, Ken Chesbrough, and the bail bondsman, whose name I don't know. I apologize. I'm not minimizing him. I just don't remember his name. Have all said, I'm throwing in the towel. I don't want to be the last man standing, and I don't want to be sitting at a table with the former guy, because they're going to throw all the books at him, and I don't want any of them to hit me. That's what's going on the national level with regards to the former president. Now, let's move it down a notch and talk about what's happening in Congress. I'm sick and tired and sick of watching the speaker's race. They need to get it together so that our government can keep running. They need to figure out what they're doing so our government can keep running. We started this week out, and it's just Tuesday, folks. We started this week out with 9 people who said, yes, I'm running for speaker. 9. As of an hour or so ago, we were down to 5. A couple of hours ago, they had a closed door meeting where they did secret ballots, and they voted for Emmer from Minnesota. They voted for Emmer. So Emmer was the top vote getter. And then a couple of hours later, Emmer drops out of the race. He drops out of the race because he counted his votes, and there were at least 20 people who did not vote for him. 20 people who said, when they worked their whip counts, and they thought, well, okay, so if this person drops out, will you vote for him? Blah blah blah, and it was pretty squarely 20 people who wasn't going to vote for him, and he said, "Hey, my name's not McCartney. My name's not Jim Jordan. I'm not going up there to vote and lose by 20 to run and lose by 20 votes." And so he decided he's not running. Bad news is Kevin Hearn is still hanging in there. He's still hanging in there, and he is super conservative. And so it's likely that the Chaos Caucus will vote for him. And they're the ones who are holding everything up. And when I say the Chaos Caucus, I'm talking Matt Gaetz and Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Those TV nuts are the ones that are holding everything up. And if you'll recall, when McCartney was running, one of I think it was Boebert actually nominated Kevin Hearn, and he got votes. So that's where we are. We can't let that happen. You can't let that happen. He is staunchly pro-birth, and he voted for a bill that made no exceptions for incest or rape. He's just have the baby, I don't care. Right? He is staunchly pro eliminating Social Security and Medicare. He is staunchly anti poor people, anti women having a decision over their own bodies. He's anti folks minding their business. He's pro big government, although he will say something different. He's anti raising minimum wage. We don't need that guy being the speaker. We don't need that guy being that close to the presidency. It's unnerving, and it's frankly disappointing that that's somehow where we have found ourselves. So that's my national news. Now I'll bring it back because I'm talking about chaos creators today for some reason. Talking about the creators of chaos, the agents of chaos. So I've talked about the former president. I've talked about Kevin Hearn. Now I'll talk about the governor of Oklahoma. He's back at it making appointments again. So he's now made 2 appointments to the Oklahoma State Department of Education. At least one of them has 0 ties to education. And Stitt himself said that he nominated him because he is a defender of Oklahoma values. I haven't heard a more empty statement in a really long time. I don't know what that means. Does that mean he's a defender of elitism, of exclusion, of privatization? Because that's what the governor is pushing. Did he pick this guy because this guy is going to push more private school nonsense, more charter school nonsense? I don't have a problem with charter schools or private schools. I have a problem with public tax dollars going to pay for them. But the governor doesn't. And if he's appointing people, I assume he's appointing people who think like him. But the governor doesn't have a good track record of appointing folks because he doesn't care if they have anything to do with the job that he's appointing them for. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot. But this is why it is important that we all unite together. We make sure that everybody we know is registered to vote and planning to participate. We make sure that everybody we know knows what the Oklahoma Democratic Party stands for. Well-funded public education, access to affordable health care no matter what your zip code is, and access to economic opportunity. And yes, we care about climate. Yes, we care about a woman's right to choose. We care about water. We care about LGBTQ rights. We care about all of those things. And we need to make sure that people know that that's what we care about, that we're the party who understands people need to mind their own business and the government needs to mind its own business and manage the things that make sense for economies of scale, right? We're not libertarians, but we believe in the police and fire department and those kinds of things, but we don't believe that the government should reach into your doctor's waiting room. We don't believe that the government should reach into how you talk to your kids about things and how you make decisions about your kids and your kids' bodies. That's them. That's them. We need to make sure that everyone knows what we stand for and they're registered as Democrats. We need to just make sure that that is what is happening. So let me lighten it up just a little bit. Tonight at 6:30 virtually, the Oklahoma Democratic Party is offering introduction to VAN training, VAN 101. It is virtual, which means you can be sitting at your house. It is free. And we are offering it this one time. We'll schedule something later, but right now we have it this one time. Please go out to our website, sign up if you're interested. It is free. It is virtual. You don't have to get out in the rain. I think it's raining all over the state. You don't have to get out in the rain. You can sit in front of your computer and learn how VAN works. We're not changing who has access to VAN, but learn how VAN works so you can participate in the conversations. And if you decide to run for office or help somebody run for office, you will have a little bit of knowledge under your belt. That's tonight. Tomorrow, the Oklahoma Democratic Party is hosting an event where we're showing Killers of the Flower Moon. And right before, we're going to have a brief conversation with former Chief Jim Gray. Former Chief of the Osage Nation, Jim Gray, who is a descendant of the Reign of Terror. That is tomorrow in Oklahoma City. And with mixed feelings, I announced that it is sold out. There are no more tickets. Don't text me. Don't message me. There are no more tickets. No more tickets. We are sold out. I look forward to hanging out with you guys tomorrow at Killers of the Flower Moon. And those are the two things I can think of that are happening right now. I don't want to bombard you guys. Oh, Friday, Rachel Maddow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Has nothing to do with the Oklahoma Democratic Party. She is promoting her book, Prequel, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. However, you can register to win 2 tickets. If you go out to our website, register to win 2 tickets to the Rachel Maddow event in Tulsa, Oklahoma this Friday. All kinds of things going on. It's hard to keep up with it all. I hope that you guys will get engaged, get involved, and come hang out with Democrats at one of the things that we have going on. And we're going to keep having things going on. All righty. You guys have a wonderful night tonight. If you're going to be at VAN, I hope you enjoyed that. But in the meantime, I'll see you tomorrow at 4:15.